All right. Welcome, everybody, to the BearThoughts podcast. We usually do this every Friday at 5 o'clock Central PS time. Well, Central PS.
T.
Yeah, PST.
Yeah.
CST. What are those things? My brain is on the thing. Thank you. Let's check your audio. Say something for me.
¿Qué pasó, mi amigos?
All right, you're a little hot, but we're gonna keep it like that. All right, but thank you for joining us this week. Today we have just the Corvo Ninja. Stealthy is right now out with the mother-in-law doing drop off since they were out getting things. What were she doing? Like, was she just going out to?
So she went and picked up the boys, and today is payday for Mama Corvo for watching the boys. So she was paying Mama Corvo, and Mama Corvo needed to go to town to get a few things. So she took Mama Corvo to town. Hold on a minute.
Speaking
you got
of
it, sweetie? I locked the door. Didn't think about it when I locked it. But yeah, she was taking Mama Corvo to do a couple things, and then on the way back, she had picked up a couple of items I asked for, and on the way back, there was a train in the way for her going directly to drop Mama Corvo off. So she swung by and dropped off my items to me, and then took Mama Corvo home.
I would have been had you not locked the top one.
And there you go. Stealthy has graced us with her presence. And yes, chat, I did screw up. I locked the top lock, which is much more difficult to undo.
Especially
when your hands are full.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, she was out and about doing that kind of stuff.
I have a bad habit locking the
what we did back to
the glass door.
I have stuff on the front, on the back too, dumbass.
Wow.
That's her. That's her sensor block because she still has a shirt that reveals information on that she doesn't need. See, we're creative here at the Corvo house. We don't do the whole blocked out pixel things. We just throw random bunny peep shape rainbow things in front of you.
Okay, so since she brought up a big old bunny, I can talk about this conversation. Okay, so you know about the Snorlax Squishmallow that me and you both want, right?
Yeah, we're trying to get it, and we ain't been able to get it yet.
It's on Amazon.
No, not yet, but I will.
It's on Amazon. So
okay.
So
yeah,
okay.
I took off an arm and a leg on Amazon.
You got it. Well, last time I checked, I'll check again real fast while we're talking. Okay, so apparently, and I did not know this is a thing, and we have to check on either be careful which ones you buy, because apparently there is a company out there doing knockoff versions, and very good knockoff versions of Squishmallows. Okay.
How dare they?
So
they're not Gucci or Prada.
Like, you can almost not tell the difference between them. If it was not for the fact that I guess Nintendo or Squishmallow started to be they be a little smart and put a special tag on the back of the of certain seasons of the Squishmallow, since Snorlax and Togepi is, I guess you would call it season 2 or set 2. And okay, so right now on Amazon, $49.99, $50, the original versions, and you have to look at not only the tag.
One of the things you have to tell is this has the original Squishmallows and it's Kelly toy.
Okay.
If it does not have both, it's not a Squishmallow.
So the second season has this. I'll send you a link of it. Has, for the Pokemon, has this little patch, like a small Pokeball patch in the back of it with a TM inside of it. And I went to go and try to buy one this past week, and I got it in, and it was okay. I know the difference between Snorlax and Gengar. I think it's a pretty stark difference. You can easily tell just by glance they're two different Pokemon, right?
Right.
I bought me a Snorlax. It's blue and it's beige white or khaki white, whatever you want to say.
Right.
It's more skin tone. Gengar is a big fucking purple creature. It's a stark difference. So I buy it and I get it shipped in. The day I get it shipped in, they change the listing from Snorlax to Gengar.
And let me guess, you got a Gengar.
I got a Gengar. So guess what got sent back that very day? Just to kind of find out that Gengar also was a fake. And it looked damn close to the real one. You can almost not tell the difference at all if it wasn't for the fact that, well, with Stealthy Show, you can look at the tags and you can see the difference.
Right.
Squishing it too.
Yeah. So apparently Amazon is littered with this. And everybody thinks you buy something from Amazon, you're gonna get like legit item, right? It should be legit. Apparently,
Right.
I mean, Amazon will sell for anybody who will sell.
Oh, that reminds me. I picked you up something. It'll be coming to you shortly. I'm gonna show you.
You know my thing about this. My
I'm gonna-
Tamagotchi's dead. I gotta get a new battery. That dang thing.
Yep. And Stealthy, why don't you put your foot up here so he can see your purchase as of late?
Oh, I bet you put my foot up here. No one will see how this hobbit feet.
It's not that type of feet.
Oh,
Stitch.
yeah. You know they made a Stitch anime?
They made a cartoon, but I didn't know they had made an anime.
They made an actual anime of
They're trying to
Stitch.
do a live action. There's my shoe.
That is so adorable. Yeah, like I don't know anybody doesn't like Stitch. I'm surprised they don't have a Stitch Tamagotchi out there. Give it time, I guess. So yeah, I thought that was
one.
Which one? They already have one?
They probably do. I mean, it wouldn't make sense not to, especially with the fact that there's so many different experiment numbers.
Yeah. So yeah, I was heavily petard because I was trying to get one for one of the Squishmallows for a decent bargain, of course.
Love it.
And I'm just so annoyed that I thought you buy something from Amazon, you're supposed to be getting Amazon's security of like, hey, these are legitimate items. No, they're not. So watch out if you buy from Amazon. Check your stuff, especially if it's collectibles. Know your items before you buy on Amazon. You still have a chance of Wish is no better. You're more likely run into more scams on Wish anyways, but
Oh.
I'm gonna let you keep on going. Oh, was it a vending machine?
No. You remember that? You remember that box we got for the Halloween thing?
Yeah.
She got a box that was Stitch.
Here. This thing.
Okay, so did she open it each week, or she just went, pop?
No, right, shit. She went ham.
I don't need to wait. I'm gonna pop all of them now. But yeah, they made an anime of. Okay, yeah, I see it. They made an anime of Stitch, and I thought that was really because like this past week, I'm pretty sure you've seen the YouTube channel Death Battle. You've seen Death Battle before, right? They did one of Death Battle Stitch versus Raccoon from Marvel or from Guardians of the Galaxy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Rocket.
Yeah, and in that showing of that thing, they showed and told the viewers about literally a Stitch anime out there, which that brings me to kind of my next conversation. We've already discussed in our personal self about the record of Ragnarok, and we both agreed this one was a good season.
Yes.
5 episodes, which is not very long, admittedly.
I found it kind of strange because normally they do 2 full fights per season, and they only did the one. But then again, there was a lot that went on.
Yeah,
there was a lot that went on.
It was pretty much 2 versus 1 in this thing. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it was pretty much 2 versus 1.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I don't know. It starts out as like what 7 versus 1, then it goes to 1 versus 1, then it's technically 2 versus 1. Yeah. It's like the numbers are everywhere.
So yeah, if you're counting that, and of course the backstories, you got the backstories, they're telling the stories. I actually kind of knew about the Buddha one, which I was kind of proud of myself. I knew about all the information about that, still remember it. But it was definitely a fight that was well thought out. I kind of knew the character would win because he was my choice at the beginning, so I had like okay, I feel like he's the
My
win.
thing with the whole Buddha thing is Buddha come off very,
Childish.
very chill, very Woodstock.
Uh-huh.
You know,
yeah, Woodstock. Yeah, definitely Woodstock.
you know what I mean? Like, dude, really? I don't like being told what to do, so I'm gonna fight for this.
Yeah. And like he's like, bring it in, bro. Bring it in. Come on, let's hug it out. Let's hug it out. I'm like, yeah, that's Buddha. That's Buddha.
Yeah.
So I was happy about that. And this brings me into my conversation this for this thing. It's gonna be anime related, but trust me, follow along, chat. Okay, so I'm gonna name an anime, and I'm gonna ask you, would you watch this show? It's called.
Okay, this is one of them things.
Yeah,
All right.
Okay, it's called I Was Reborn as a Vending Machine.
Probably just because it sounds way outside the line.
It sounds ridiculous. It sounds almost, I dare say, to the R word. It's definitely, it doesn't make no sense. And this is how confident Japanese people are with their writing materials. They are so confident that they can literally take an abstract thing like this, a vending machine, okay? Vending machine. You don't think a show should be about a vending machine. That sounds stupid. I'll say it. And it doesn't seem like a show that will have very much plot, detail, story, world building. None of that. No. You can't have that with some Coca-Cola machine and or in Japan.
I don't know. It depends on how they press my buttons. I mean, you know,
Okay.
some buttons I like and some I don't.
So I thought this show would be a total bust.
Smack him on behalf of everybody else.
See what you did.
So okay, so this show just came
Ow.
out. This show has came out. It started working through its way through the season, and I wanted to watch the show because one, it sounds like this is gonna be just a terrible thing, and I'm all along for this ride. And two, I watched some pretty bad animes in the past. I think we all have. We probably
yeah. I mean, you can't watch anime and say you've never seen a bad one because not every anime is just amazing.
Yeah, and not every story is great, never plot is good, not everything makes sense. So you just want to watch it just to see what train wreck this will become. And I am just almost astounded. It's almost one of those situations where Japan's going, you know what? Your writers in America just can't make a story worth a damn. Hold my beer, America. Let me show you how to make an abstract story that normally would not work at all and make it good. And actually make it a pleasant to read or and to watch. What is it with Japan and then just go, you know what? Fuck it. We can do it. It's just so good. I would recommend this show already, and I'm only 3 episodes in. If you watch the dub, if you watch the subs, 5 episodes in. Okay, so when you hear that kind of show, what do you think a vendor machine, or reborn as a vendor machine, would be like?
Contemplating how you ended up a vending machine. What in the world caused you to come back as a vending machine? What significance is this new life as people punch buttons to take things out of my body? Yeah. Why does this dude's key stay so cold?
So
why, you know?
Yeah, that's questions like, you know, where are the items coming from? What does the coins? What the coins translate?
Looks like the question is why aren't you loving your dog?
Yeah. You know, why the currency? You know, what's the currency conversion? What kind of items can you serve in this world? Will it be hot? Will it be cold? How would you protect yourself? And an isekai world, for anybody that doesn't know what isekai means, it means another world, usually fantasy or some kind of universe where there is a lot of danger in it. Nothing you can just walk down your street and you'll be all right. You'll probably get killed if you're not careful. So you have that some way of defending yourself. And this vending machine has to stay alive. How does a vending machine in a fantasy world stay alive? And
you better learn to launch them damn soda cans with the heat with some heat behind it.
Yeah, so he's having, and of course, a vending machine can't talk. But some vending machines have, like, you know, they have little already pre-recorded lines on them. Like, if you ever to Japan, they have, like, you know, like, they say, arigato, you buy something, please insert coins, blah, blah, blah. So they have small ways of interacting with people, but nothing conversing like me and you right now. So,
Right.
This show is outside the box, and it's still doing a tremendous job at this. And that's not the only one that's weird. I saw another one, two of them. One called Reborn as a Dog. So somebody was reborn as a dog, and
Wait, hold on. I see a problem with this one.
Mm-hmm.
How's a man any different when he's reborn as a dog? He was a dog to begin with. I'm slightly confused at how, other than being furry.
Well, there's some like it doesn't show it, but there's definitely some implication of maybe possible bestiality. So,
oh shit!
Yeah, it goes places. I'm not recommending it. And another one, Reborn as a Weapon or a sword. I gotta look into it again. That one I can kind of see, maybe, that the weapon can still talk, but fantasy settings, sometimes mystical weapons have ways to communicate with their owner, but as a phallic object, you're not really human. You're literally just an object with a human soul inside of it.
I can imagine being a sword and thinking, loosen your grip, bitch! You can't swing me like that! I can't cut through anything!
Are really gonna just completely bypass Phi?
Oh yeah! I forgot about that. Phi was a being that was also a sword.
Oh yeah, resurrected as a sword. Yeah. So it's
or Gerheim.
Oh, Gerheim.
Mr.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I swear to God, they had Gene Simmons do the animation for the tongue on that dude.
So I'm just like people say like the isekai is already filled up into the brim, but like people are just so clever and so imaginative, and it's almost awe-inspiring because like as well as I told you before, I am currently working on my own manga. It's not going to be drawn maybe by me, or maybe it will be crudely, but I'm already working on a story and trying to think outside the box of what your life would be inside of another world. But these people are going, you know what? Normal humans are boring. Let's make it next one, reborn as a camera. I don't know. How would that work? Why would you want to be a camera? Reborn as a fleshlight. How would that work?
The life bringer, he has come.
So I'm loving it, but it just shows me that
I got a great one. Reborn as a shower head.
So it just shows me that imagination is not dead, and you can totally think out of the box, but yet some people are just not comfortable with bringing new ideas to the forefront. And why Japan's storytelling is, while people see it as weird, it's still far better than a lot of people out there. I'm loving it, and I would definitely recommend watching it or reading it. You know me, I've been reading a lot of lately, manga that is. And if you're ever out there want to buy me a gift, buy me manga. I like it. Is there anything you're reading nowadays that you're just?
I haven't really picked up anything to read heavy in a while. Mainly because I just ain't had the bandwidth to do it. I ain't had the time to sit down. Like hell, even yesterday I was an hour late getting home.
Oh yeah, you're dealing with your job.
Yeah, so bandwidth is a real issue right now. Meaning I don't just having time. Because honestly, when I do have time to do something else, I'm so damn tired that I'm ready to like just sit down and not do shit.
Yeah, you're probably better off with stories being told to you than you trying to take your mind into reading a book and merging yourself into the world.
Yeah, if it was like it was when I was younger, back like when I was going to college and stuff, and I had time when I wasn't working and when I wasn't studying, actually had time to not focus on that stuff, I probably would read. But the problem is when I do find time like that, really all I want to do is sit next to the lady that's behind me and just chill, because I'm done.
All right. Well, hey, I get that. If I can turn off my brain and just read or watch something, I usually do. But I don't read right like call me old fashioned. I read right when I go to bed. Like I mostly just okay. I want to get lay dead. I lay in bed. I get my manga out on my tablet because that's mostly where I did digital, and I just start reading, and that's it. That's the easiest way for me to really get into it and let my mind really relax and fall asleep. But yeah, I just want to recommend that. Would you go watch it now that I recommended? Does it sound like an
I might would check it out. It seems interesting. All I could think of though is like me waking up as a vending machine going, "Oh shit, I sell Coke products."
Well, okay. So the guy, the short premise of the story is the guy's he's a fan of vending machine. He thinks vending machines are well designed. He thinks they're very clever. The products that come inside of vending machines are really very useful for him. And he's always had like a bit of a fascination toward them. So when he eventually passes away, and I'm not going to tell you how he passes away, he was elated to be born as a vending machine.
Let me guess, the vending machine fell over on him.
Kind of fell into him. Into him. So it just so happened when he was reborn in this new world, it looks very oddly similar to the vending machine that he died with. So I love you, vending machine. Oh, it killed me. Well, I still love you anyways. It's kind of one of those awkward things. Just like, oh, but my wife killed me.
Please insert your change.
Yeah, it does say that. It just has such a unique way of thinking that I don't think I can ever really think like. We don't rationally think like that. It's like, how can we turn something an inanimate object and make it something fantastically interesting to the point where you go and like, oh, that's really kind of cool. A vending machine. I don't know anybody that's actually thinks vending machines are cool, unless you're guessing in Japan, right?
No.
Can I just say, like, for every...
Honestly, I get pissed off at vending machines most of the time.
Well, they say in Japan that for every, I think, 5 to 10 people, there's a vending machine out there. And for every type of vending machine you can think of, there's a vending machine out there like that. Pizza, ramen, steak, sushi, any kind of drink you could think of, whether it be soda or coffee.
All right, listen. If I go to Japan and I see a man pulling a geisha out of a fucking vending machine, we're gonna have a problem.
Well, there is porno ones, but that comes into the show a little later on because I went ahead and read the manga because I'm not waiting for the next episode. I'm impatient. Of course, there was you probably not read as much as I have, or maybe watches. I don't know. Manga has a thing about the person who wants to write it, but then the TV show, they usually maybe will put a certain interaction in a later episode or put a certain action in a different way, but it's still similar to the manga. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's one point where this one little girl and the main female character have their interaction, and that's not too much later in the story, but in the manga, it happened way sooner, and it happened in a different situation where they were talking about the vending machine, and they call it Boxo or Boxy in the show. So, yeah, they have a way of moving things around, but still keeping to the context of the story.
Yeah,
which I don't mind. Okay, so that's really all that I have. Honestly, like I said, I didn't have anything to talk about this week.
Listen, I have been playing with that software so much that it's getting ridiculous. Like, I'm getting impatient now because I have 2 full builds ready to go on that damn thing.
Have you gotten in your curing station and your cleaning station yet? Because I saw you bought that one too.
No, I haven't bought it yet. I'm going to buy it.
Oh, okay. I thought you did.
No. I was sending you a picture of it to show you I am going to get it, but no. Even still, even that thing won't be big enough to cure some of the stuff I want to do. So me and Crimson are going to work on the sword length cure at some point. It'll take me probably about $45 to get that one running. And then later there's some tweaks and stuff I'm going to do to it, but
my main thought is going to be for the sword cleaning would be the actual cleaning itself, not the curing, because even then it might be still a little hard to fit in that side, that little basket. I don't know.
Nah, I looked at some videos, dude. There were people taking pieces that me and you both would have thought there's no way in hell putting it inside that thing. You realize that is an oversized wash and cure station, right?
No.
It is huge. It like a gallon is only a third of the tank.
Oh, did you and I was asking, did you ever finish that Master Chief controller holder?
I got the parts. I haven't put it together.
Okay.
But that tank on that cleaner holds 3 gallons worth.
Oh, 3 gallons. Okay, it definitely looks smaller on this store than it does, I guess.
No, I watched a guy clean a full diorama that he printed in one piece in the thing. The only downside is my printer is even larger than what that thing was originally meant for.
Yeah.
So the whole sitting your build plate in the little tray and letting it go, you're not doing that because the build plate's bigger. But you can pop them off, put it in the basket, fits fine. Like I watched a guy print a whole diorama, like I said, on the one that I purchased, and then he just popped it off and dropped it in there. And apparently this thing has a feature that I thought was pretty cool. So every 2 minutes, the vortex changes directions. It does that to make sure that you're getting cleaner in everything.
Okay. Okay, so this kind of brings me to my thought here. You remember that D&D box I printed off on a spool, and it has that same spool that you want from me, the wood one?
Yeah.
Where you're able to print in a PLA plastic infused wooden chip spool.
Right.
Okay, so how would you do that with resin?
How would you infuse like wood or something like that with resin?
With resin, yes, because I really did love that wooden spool PLA plastic which was pretty much plastic with just wood chips inside of it, and you pretty much melting the plastic, and the wood goes with it, right? It's a simple idea behind it. But apparently my wife's coworker has a D&D session where they're inviting me to go play with them sometime, and my wife told him about my 3D printed wooden box that I have.
Yeah.
And I love it because it's made out of wood. And in essence, it feels like wood. It smells like wood. It's just cool to have something like that. And just in general, that's kind of the reason why if I do get another 3D printer, my next 3D printer will probably be another spool one, because, well, that's one of the cool things about having those spool ones. You can print in that material. So I'm thinking, how could I do that with
how you would do resin? Something like wood? I have no idea, but I do know. Do you know that people have figured out how to dope resin?
To dope resin? No.
So, yeah. So what they do is they buy normal resin, whether it be water washable or regular resin, right? Yeah. And then they'll buy a flexible resin, and they'll dilute their resin a little bit with the flexible resin, and what it does is make supports and shit come off stupidly easier. And it gives the resin print a little flexibility, so you're less likely to break off all those little pieces.
Okay. I would have to see a video for this, because I definitely...
I watched it. That's how I found out about it. I was watching a video on someone running one of those big printers like I purchased, and one of the things he says he does, especially with things that are tiny, is he will do like I drank mine. Yours is in the refrigerator on the top shelf. Yeah. So what he does is he'll do like a 75-25 mix.
Yeah.
Or either if he's really worried about it and it's got a lot of tiny things and you want to make sure there's some flexibility so it didn't break it, he'll do a 50-50 mix. And he'll mix it in a container, in like a cup before he pours it in there. Make sure it's good and mixed.
Yeah.
And then he pours it in there. And what happens is it gives it a little flexibility, which I watched him take a piece in his hand with all the supports on it, grab the supports and do this and just yank them off.
Yeah, that's kind of like I want a print to be for with resin. I want it to be flexible because there's sometimes some prints I want to flex and not have to worry about it.
I haven't looked to see if they have any flexible water washable yet because I wouldn't want to take flexible regular and mix it with water washable. But if you could find some flexible water washable, I think it would be worth a try of starting out with like a 25-75 mix.
Yeah.
And then add or subtract as you feel like it. But I'm telling you, dude, he printed, I don't remember exactly what the model was, but it was a miniature. It was a mini. And he literally just grabbed it and yanked 90% of the supports off. And then when he took his clippers to clip the rest of them off, they just popped right off. Boop, 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 boop. And there was almost no marks from almost no marks. There was no bubbles. You would just see a slight discoloration, like somebody might have flicked it with their fingernail or something before you cured it.
Yeah.
In the area, but there was I didn't see any bubbles.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. Now, I was trying to think in my mind if with resin, if I would to say go somewhere where they like chip wood or they turn wood into dust, maybe I can mix in wood dust with resin and maybe it would cure. But I feel like that stuff would just fall to the bottom, because it's going to be probably heavier than resin is. And I'll just
if it's powder, it's not. If it's like wood powder, no, it's not going to fall because powders are going to be lighter than the actual resin.
Do you think it maybe rise to the top then? Oh, well,
no, I think it'll stay wherever you mix it. So, like if you mix it and it's all the way through, I think it's going to be all the way through. With the powder, that is. Yeah. So, but no, I mean, there's some crazy hacks out there I've been seeing and most of them. Ironically, I'm seeing when I'm watching these people print on these big printers because they're printing like dioramas of like an entire castle, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, you don't want your supports to be so hard to get off that you break your steeple or something like that. So people literally went because they can print bigger and get finer details, went and started finding out ways. How do I make this resin not so hard to clean up? Also, something I didn't know is, it is not a strictly isopropylene alcohol or water thing. Did you know you can clean regular resin prints, and I'm sure it'll work with water resin prints, with Mean Green, and it is actually more environmentally safe and better than alcohol.
Mean Green. Can you get that from Dollar Tree?
Yep.
Okay, so Mean Green. What do you know what chemical inside of it that may be doing?
I don't remember what it is, but the guy was telling me when he was looking at what they post for like fume ratings for chemicals and how it reacts with resin and stuff like that, it is some of the safer chemicals you can use to clean your prints with. Like one guy took an entire bust that he did of Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Dumped it in that wash and cure plus station and poured a gallon of Mean Green in there. He didn't even dilute it.
Huh.
And just kicked it on and let it go. And when it was done, it looked fantastic. There was no scummy buildup, no soft, no soapy feeling. He's like, technically with the Mean Green, I could handle this with my bare hands.
Yeah,
but I just don't want to run a risk. There might be at one spot, that one spot it didn't get real good, and that'd be the spot that gets on my skin. He's like, but realistically, I've never done one in this stuff and let it go for a while and it not be almost perfectly clean. He's like, how sometimes when you take a print out of being clean, you look at your supports you can still see shit in the supports.
Yes.
You know, dude, when he pulled this out, the supports were as clean as the damn model.
Huh. Okay. I wonder if it's more or less viscous. You know, it's not very thick. Of course, ibuprofen is not very thick either.
No, it's very, very thin. But I just found it ironic because I never thought of like using something like Mean Green. I always thought, isopropylene alcohol for regular prints or warm water for water washable. My own personal way I like to do them now is I'll pull them off and clean them in warm water, and then I'll put them in a container with alcohol, and I'll swash them around in there, and then I'll take them out and let them drip dry.
Yeah.
Then I'll take the supports and stuff off and check them, and if they need one more rinse in alcohol, I'll rinse them one more time in alcohol, let them dry, and then cure them. But this guy literally put it in the Mean Green, let it clean. When it got through cleaning, he hooked his basket where it would drip dry. When it's done drip drying, he just tore the supports off and throwed it in the cure.
Okay, so next time I go to Dollar Tree, I'll grab me some Mean Green because I think I saw some at there, and that'd be way cheaper than ibuprofen or even getting 99% or 90%.
That's why he was making the comment. He's like, isopropylene alcohol. He said, I still would say it's probably the absolute best thing to clean with. He said, but it's so damn expensive. Whereas I can go spend like $2 or $3 and get a gallon of Mean Green.
Yeah.
And
if it'd be more environmentally friendly.
Yeah, he said he says what he likes to do is he'll wash his stuff in Mean Green, and then he'll sit his container outside because it doesn't evaporate. Mean Green doesn't, like alcohol.
Yeah.
And it'll cure that resin to the top. He'll skim it off and reuse it until he's done, till there's no more. And I'm like, well, damn, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, if you get like one of those like mop buckets, right, the big old black mop buckets, and maybe put it on top of for you're gonna have one that has one of those magnetic spinning washing.
Yeah, when I buy that wash and cure station, it's not magnetic. I found out it actually has an impeller.
Impeller? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the bucket sits down, the impeller and all is sealed, but it's on the inside of the bucket, and the shaft just goes right inside of the socket for the impeller.
Oh,
and it just spins, and then in 2 minutes it'll spin the other way, and then in 2 minutes it'll spin this way, and it does that and cleans it. There's no magnets. And the basket is designed with enough clearance when you sit it all the way down in there that the impeller will never hit it.
That's kind of cool. Well, I'm thinking, I was thinking about the past week to get one of those big old buckets, get one of those the matic ones, drop the bean that goes down to the bottom and aligns with it, and when the bean starts spinning around, the bucket will start swirling it too, so it will start washing the item off as well. And then if it's easy to just scan it without needing a filter or a pump, that'd be great too. Because we made that one little thing back in the day where it was good for small prints.
It's not so good for big prints.
It's definitely not so good for big prints.
Well, it's I've got a lady at work that wants to buy my current printer once I get this one up and running. I got looking at that printer. I was like, I might as well sell her that little cure box I got too, because at that point, what the hell am I going to print on that big printer that's going to fit in there? So she's going to buy that too.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good investments for a lot of people. And of course, I always say buying a small printer for those who want to just not get into it would be a good idea. I just still don't know if I would recommend spool or resin for the first time printer buyer.
I firmly believe that you should start with spool.
Yeah, I would say that too.
I say that for two reasons. One, it's less hazardous to you while you're trying to understand how 3D printing works. And two, I want them to go through the same struggles I did before they learned the easy stuff.
You're an asshole.
I think it's
I think it's character building to me. I mean, because anybody that has ever printed PLA, I swear If you say you haven't had a bad print, you are a lying asshole. Because there is no way you haven't had a bad print.
Bad print, a bad stick, a clogged
Your
valve.
bed be jacked up and you didn't even know it. All kind of crazy shit. A spring come loose because your little tightening handle under there had vibrated off, and now your bed's like sprung up in one corner. You know,
there's just
I've had all kinds
of course, like let's think about it, because like I said, I was when I first got into 3D printing, or interested in 3D printer. 3D printers for like $700 or more for literally a 1x1 bed size. It was literally, it was a brain thinking, but like the bed would also like it would have like the bed would rise up, and then the Z or X and Y axis were up here, so the bed would be like moving. So like, and then of course nowadays, and they have the bed, the Z axis goes, or Z axis goes down to the bed, and then goes everywhere. And now they have like two heads on some printers. They have self leveling. They have self filtering. They have spool sensors. Like, they have so many things nowadays. It just makes it easier and easier.
Well, you remember we were discussing at one point, when you buy a resin printer, there are some things that we felt like should be supplied when you buy them that they weren't supplying. Well, this printer, they must have read our fucking mind. Because it comes out of the box with a screen protector to put on.
Yeah.
So you can't drip resin all over your precious screen. It also, the fit film is not clear. It is smoky.
It's smoky. Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. And the laser etching on the bed.
Yeah.
You know how they were doing like the tic-tac-toe shit? No. This shit is like little bitty pentagons, and they're all over the bed inside of each other and everything else.
Yeah.
What was the other thing that I seen that was really cool that I thought? Oh, so you know how they were talking about the different colors of the hoods, right?
Yeah.
They picked yellow for this one. And the reason they picked yellow is because out of all the wavelength testing, yellow lets through the least amount of UV, and it's not a big solid hood like we thought.
Oh, yeah. I always thought it was a pull-off hood.
No, the whole front half just comes off, sits inside, and then it slides back on. The back half is permanently mounted.
Oh, okay. Well, I still like, even though I can see why people might get annoyed with mine, I still like the one that just kind of fold up. Like, I do like just put it up, so I have to, like, once you pull it off, right, you gotta find a place to put it. It's like,
but see, the problem is for a lot of people, they don't have the room for the fold up. So just being able to slide it off and just sit it beside it, and then slide it back on makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Also, I got looking at the space inside this thing. I don't think we're gonna have to use the endoscope camera. I think we're actually gonna be able to sit a camera in it.
Oh, that much space inside, huh? Okay.
We're gonna find out when I unbox it. But I was looking at it, I was like, damn, that's a lot of space.
Yeah. So I would definitely be interested. Like I said, I want to see it when you get it. But yeah, I think there's still things that even resin printers could have, and like not only just the resin sensor, right? I want all the printers to know when there's resin in there, because just like a spool, right? I want to know when the spool is being fed, and the spool's not being fed. I want the print to stop. If there's no resin in the tank, I want the print to stop.
And I think that's the purpose of the sensor that's in there. It'll pump, but if that shit don't have nothing to pump, I think the whole damn thing stops, and you go walking by and you're like, oh shit, let me pour some more resin in here and hit resume.
Yeah. I would like, of course, the more expensive version I got also had a way of like removing the resin as well, which I thought was like, why can't yours not do that? If you can pump it, it should be able to
can. It just didn't come with the kit that does it, but they sell a kit to put right on that motherfucker to pump it out.
Yeah, I think they should have those kits on there. I think, bed leveling. Me and you both had this problem before, where for the spool ones, you have to level those. Well, for resin, if you don't have the bed leveled onto the bed, one side won't be quite on there and it won't cure onto the bed. Well, then that part that might not be curing might be an arm later on, and then it doesn't attach because, well, there's
And
no.
see, that reminds me of another thing that this damn thing comes with. So, usually you get a resin printer, you have to kind of find you a sheet of paper or something to use. This damn thing come with a leveling, I guess, for lack of a better term, page that is cut specifically to fit. And it is the perfect thickness and shit. And I'm like, somebody, I don't like it. Big Brother's been listening to our podcast and he ain't subscribing.
What about like the springs on them, right? Like if he has some like sensor springs on the bed, so when it comes down and touches the bed, maybe the four corners of the monitor will have some kind of sensor where it realizes like, hey, there's pressure on this side or metal's being touched on this side, so therefore leveling is being given.
So check this out. So one of the big things with your tank when you take it off, right, is you can't just sit down anywhere. You can't have that flip film touch anything, right?
Yeah.
They built rubber feet, and they're in each four corners so it doesn't touch. And there's divots on the machine so that when you sit it down, it goes down flush like it's supposed to.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. But I'm just thinking like, how would you improve the, like, it's one of those like, can you just press play on a printer and you're guaranteed every single time, like, some of the spoolers nowadays are getting better at it, where bed leveling, spool sensors, and all that stuff, all these checks and balances to make sure it's literally a push and go, and it will guarantee the print. I want the printer to have that same functionality. And that's like, I know it's maybe not now, it's maybe not next year, but at some point it's going to be there. And then
it's something they've got to work towards, because with any piece of equipment, no matter how many sensors or whatever you put on it, there's always a chance that the sensor's going to fail and then the shit's still going to run out or whatever. But yeah, we could get closer to a non-worry situation when you hit play.
Yeah, press and go. And of course, upgradables for all the printers. I know that's always a nice thing to have. I've done Ask Creality because like I said, there's my version, which is the Mage, and there's like the Mage Plus or Mage Ultra, which has the filament filler and emptier. I'm like, Creality, it's literally the same printer, just without the fancy little add-on that you put in the back corner.
Just sell me the kit. I'll put shit on myself.
Kit, yes. Just like the first Creality spool printers we got, there was always a bunch of kits that you could do to upgrade them and to modify them and better them. And,
absolutely.
I think that is something that companies can easily do, and I'm hoping at some point somebody goes, "Hey, you want a wood filament, or not wood filament? You want wood resin? Here we go." I want that. I don't know. Just it's something about like that nature material that I just loved, and being able to print and a thing you go on. How do you print in wood? Now next one, how do you print in like a copper filament? They had that for spools, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think they had copper. I think they had.
It has copper flakes in it or something like that.
So you literally could polish it if you wanted to.
Yeah, and they make an aluminum printer too.
So yeah, I want that kind of stuff, and any ways to combine my two babies together, I would just be ecstatic. Do you have a machine that you wouldn't mind having next? Like, is there any like piece of hardware that you'd be like, you know what?
Dude, honestly, right now I'm still in awe of what's coming, let alone thinking about what I might want to do next.
I'm trying to think of like a machine that would be like, okay, you have 3D printer. What could be going good with a 3D printer? Like, you combine.
I think something that would be awesome is if somebody could come up with a pen sander that actually would work properly. Because most pen sanders out there work off of little sanding pieces that are Velcroed, right?
Yeah.
But that Velcro never holds up when you're sanding. Never. It always tears, comes off, whatever.
True.
I would like for somebody to come up with a pen sander that would hold up. That you could do that fine detail sanding, and you ain't got to worry about slinging your sanding piece off over here and ending up plastic to plastic, tearing your print up or tearing up your sander. Because I have a pen sander.
Yeah.
But I don't use it that often. And the reason I don't use it that often is because it's very ticky about how much pressure you can put on it before you mess that sandpaper up.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that because especially with spool printers, you can easily melt those things too. Like I was setting one piece and I got a little too heavy with the pressure and I started literally melting the plastic. Like, oh, okay, gentler. And then if you hit it just wrong, it might go, poof, and then you might like fling your hand off a little bit and smack a piece that's a little fragile to the left or right for where you're standing at.
Yep.
I was just thinking like I wouldn't mind having maybe a laser cutter at some point or a bigger laser engraver.
I have a lady at work that has a big laser engraver,
Mm-hmm.
and she does some pretty trippy stuff on that thing, man.
Yeah, like if I can laser engrave into resin or carve into resin without having to really melt it or burn it, that would be pretty nice. I think there's just some details I wouldn't mind having into it. Even if they're just just a name or a logo or some kind of maybe the details didn't come out just as right as I would like it to. Maybe take a little hand, do it by hand a little bit. I don't think you do it with a laser though. I don't know. I think lasers would be cool. And you know what? I've seen some 3D printers out there. I don't know if you maybe see them online before, where people took in the old spool ones and then put a laser head on one of them and then turned it into a engraver as well.
Yep.
I wonder if people could do that with other kind of printers out there, and what could a resin printer be turned into when it says past its heyday, or maybe it's on its last leg and people want to revitalize it. I don't know. I'm just people using their ingenuity is always so vast that I can't even think what they can possibly do. Of course, I didn't think resin printers or printers would ever be real in real life. I always thought printers would be just a bunch of powder, like the old school printers that me and you discussed about in the past, where they looked like crap, but they were the original OG powders.
Yep.
Did we ever talk about how old 3D printers actually are? Like there was apparently
Yeah, we did when we did that whole. Remember we did the podcast that we went back and showed videos of different types of 3D printers and talked about when it started and how it's progressed, and we got all the way up to printing houses. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a printer apparently made out in
at least about Soren's age,
1980 or so. I think the first
something like that is when they tried to start with the first powder printers, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it didn't pan out that great. Okay, well like I said, it's been haven't really got things to react to. Is anybody that's ever had again? I said this last week. I say it again, pretty much every week. Anybody has a video out there that want me and Corvo to react to it? A trailer, a movie, a TV show, something out there that's long as not political or anything that gets us in hot water for watching it. I would appreciate it. Let us see it and let's watch it. Is there any anime that you're looking forward to this season?
Nah, I kind of on my anime thing. I'm kind of letting it come as it come. I'm trying to be surprised at what hits the market.
Okay, because right now, I think the third season of Ancients and Mega Bride is coming out, and I didn't even know that they were working on the third season of that, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. And of course, the Harley Quinn, we talked about that last week. I'm still interested when that debuts or when they're going to talk about that. Have you seen the clips for the new trailer, or not trailer, the new behind the scenes of Deadpool 3?
Nah, I haven't seen behind the scenes of Deadpool 3, but I've heard a lot of talk about a lot of people are going into the whole discussion about the outfits looking more classic.
Yeah, I don't know if just somebody just said, you know what, we're sticking to the original. We're not gonna be redesigning, reimagining, no. We're getting the original stuff back where the fans are really be like, hey, this is where I am from. The OG Wolverine costume, the Deadpool costume. People all making a bunch of memes like who else is gonna be in this movie. I think Wolverine's gonna be great. I like the Wolverine movies. I really did. So, I'm looking forward to seeing that, but still no dates when it's gonna come out. So it's just
Nope.
they need to hurry up with that. They
Yeah,
really do.
they're kind of dealing with a situation right now with all their strikes and everything else right now. So
Oh, okay. Hey, what's that board game that's really expensive with a bunch of miniatures? Um, God dang, it's about a Space Marines. Dang it. Okay, the actor that played The Witcher has finally announced that he's gonna be playing a new role on Amazon for what is that? What's that board game? Dang it! It's a board game where you apparently buy a bunch of minifigurines, and it's a really expensive board game. I'm trying to remember the name of it. And once I say it, you'll probably go, oh yeah. Give me a second. I'm trying to let me look it up on Google. I'll just bring it up. Let's see. What's his name?
Henry Clavel.
I don't have a show or oh, Warhammer. Warhammer. That's it.
Warhammer.
Yes. So he
Okay.
has announced this past week or just a couple days ago that they are now in works of working on the next show or movie for him, and it's going to be Warhammer. And he's done told everybody that this time he will not allow the directors to diverge from path from the original storyline and the universe. Like he didn't just say Witcher, like he didn't call them out, but he definitely nodded
Hinted
like,
at.
yeah,
He hinted at it.
he hinted like, yeah, this time I'm not letting them fuck with my shit. He loves Warhammer, and I'm not a huge Warhammer fan. What I know about Warhammer enough to play a couple of their games, it's a very brutal and wild and crazy universe. Like we're talking about like there's witchcraft, there's like sorcery, there's demons and orcs and like satanic like almost stuff in this show. They don't call it satanic, but you can think that, and like religious zealots. Like this whole universe is nuts. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna make a show or a movie out of it. Amazon's gonna be the one picking them up. So
I'm down to see what that's going to be about.
yeah, I am too. I'm not a big Warhammer fan, but this I can't afford Warhammer, but I'm all about watching a movie with him in it, or a TV show. It says it's gonna be a movie, but I don't know. It's Amazon. It could be a TV show because everybody wants a TV show. They don't want a movie. TV shows are just, I guess, more in.
They last longer.
Yeah.
People want it to last longer, is what it is.
Okay. So,
I mean, think about. I know you don't watch a whole lot of TV shows, but think about one TV show that you did watch that you loved, and now compress that into a movie and tell me how pissed off you'd be.
Yeah, there's not enough time. There's not enough time. And Warhammer is a huge, expansive story that's been going on almost as long as D&D. So it's gonna be really hard to be like, let's shove the entire universe into a 2.5-hour movie. It'd be just like Dune and just one movie. It couldn't be done.
Nah, that ain't enough time.
Like D&D, you can make up any story. It doesn't matter. You could do that in one movie if you really wanted to, because you could have a short campaign in one movie. But doing the entire universe might be a little harder. And I'm happy for him. I'm glad he finally got him a role that he's gonna be happy doing. That's, I guess he's been told that like whatever you say will go. What kind of fan of a game or a genre? Like, let's say if somebody came up to you and go, all right, Corvo, I'm gonna give you all this money, make a Harry Potter TV show, and you're a huge fan of the show.
At that point, I'm just gonna walk over and pull the books off the shelf, walk over there and say, "Here's your fucking script." All right, you over there, you over there. We're running lines now.
Yeah, like as soon as somebody comes up to you, well, I was thinking, you were thinking what?
What were you thinking that wasn't in this original material?
So I'm happy for that. It'd be just like me and someone coming to me with my manga and going, you know what? You know what I was thinking? No, because this is mine, and I like this way. I'm so happy for them. I don't know anybody out there wouldn't mind being in a career if they could actually have something like this that they've been wishing for and dying to do for so many years, like The Witcher, and just to be thrown back to your face. I'm hoping this succeeds because this maybe will be the start of at least American cinematics or American TV show telling where it goes. Okay, we know what happens when a fan is running this, and when a fan runs this, we make a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, you know how it goes. He may be a fan of it, but maybe his outlook of it is different than most fans, and then you're still in trouble.
Well,
So
you're gonna make somebody upset as you know always.
yeah, no matter what you do, somebody's gonna be pissed off and somebody's gonna be happy. It's the way it works. I'm just saying it doesn't. It is just because he is a fan doesn't mean he's gonna make all the fans happy too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he might show like his because there's several different factions in this universe, so he might show his faction more in like a good light or a more cool light, with the other faction just like, yeah, they suck, because he likes that faction. You know,
That's true.
he might think the other faction sucks, but in reality, the other faction has a lot of interesting and cool things about them that the other people like about that faction. It'd be like me for World of Warcraft to be like someone making the dwarves look terribly, you know, stupid and moronic and just a bunch of brutes, while let's say the gnomes look, you know, amazing and smart and you know all doing all these cool things. It's like they're both great, but you liked one faction over the other. Always a possibility.
Yeah.
Hey, what up, AJ?
I was always a fan of the Night Elves, so
Yeah, but imagine someone took the night elves and made them like not one with nature, made them look like they're stupid, like they have no real critical thinking. They're just one-sided, you know, almost barbaric
yep.
people when they're actually a very, very
Refined,
social.
intelligent race. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got you.
it wouldn't never work that way. But since I don't like them, they suck now. It's like turning on the men in TV shows like they're all a bunch of stupid people. Uh, not naming no names. But anyways, so that is it for this week. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Anime, for joining us today, and anybody else for sharing in the chat. If you want to chill out with us next week, or anything you want us, anything you want to like react to, or anything you want us to check out, a trailer, a movie, anything, as long as I don't get to hot water, please let me know in the comments down below. After this in the VOD, please hit the like button if you'd be so kind. Share this around, and I guess I'll see you next week. As always, have a good day, have a good night. Good life, much love, y'all. Bye.
Bye, guys.
1,